Hello, Freedom School kids. I hope you're having a great summer. I know it's been a crazy summer and a crazy year, but I hope you're having some fun this summer. My name is Elyse Dashew, and I serve on the school board for your schools. And I am so excited to read a really beautiful story with you today. It's called Seeds of Change. Seeds of Change, Planting a Path to Peace. And it's about this incredibly strong little girl in Kenya, in Africa, who loves nature and loves trees, and she grows up to change the world. She's like this amazing person, and it's a true story. Her name is Wangari. So here we go. There's the first picture. Come, Wangari's mother called. She beckoned her young daughter over to a tall tree with a wide, smooth trunk and a crown of green, oval leaves. Feel, her mother whispered. Wangari spread her small hands over the tree's trunk. She smoothed her fingers over the rough bark. This is the Mugumo, her mother said. It is home to many, and it feeds many too. She snapped off a wild fig from a low branch and gave it to her daughter. Wangari ate the delicious fruit, just like geckos and elephants did. High in the tree, birds chirped in their nests. The branches bounced with jumping monkeys. See the monkeys up there? Monkey, monkey. And they're eating that delicious fruit. Little girl and her mom. Our people, the Kikuyu of Kenya, believe that our ancestors rest in the tree's shade, her mother explained. Wangari wrapped her arms around the trunk as if hugging her great-grandmother's spirit. She promised never to cut down the tree. See? Each year, the Mugumo grow, and so did Wangari. As the oldest girl in her family, she had many chores. Every day she fetched water clear and sweet from the river. In the rainy season, she planted sweet potatoes, millet, and beans. When the sun shone brightly in the dry season, she shooed the chickens into the shade. Sometimes when her brother Underitu returned from school, he and Wangari played among the arrowwood plants by the stream, where thousands of eggs hatched into tadpoles and tadpoles turned into frogs. During those times, Underitu told Wangari that he had learned what he had learned in his classes. Plants give air for people to breathe, he said. 20 divided by 2 is 10. There are 7 great seas to sail. Wangari listened as still as a tree, but her mind swirled with curiosity like the currents in the stream. Even though she knew few Kikuyu girls who could read, Wangari dreamed of going to school and learning just like her brother. I must go to school, she told him. You will, he promised. Let me see if I can get that picture closer. Oh, there she is with her brother. It's hard to make the camera see it. There it is. Nderitu talked to their parents. Why doesn't Wangari go to school? He asked. Wangari's parents knew she was smart and a hard worker. Although it was unusual in their town for a girl to be educated, they decided to send her to school. They knew she would not disappoint them. After some time to arrange for fees and supplies, Wangari's mother came to her. "You are going to go to school," she told her daughter. Wangari grinned widely and hugged her mother. "Thank you," she cried. "I will make you proud." Wangari walked the long road to a one-room schoolhouse with walls made of mud and a floor of dirt and a roof of tin. In time, she learned to copy her letters and trace numbers. Wangari's letters soon made words. Then her words made sentences. She learned how numbers could be added and subtracted and multiplied and divided. Animals and plants, she discovered, were like human beings in many ways. They needed air and water and nourishment too. See all the stuff she's learning, and oh, there they are walking to school with their backpacks. When Wangari finished elementary school, she was 11 years old. Her mind was like a seed rooted in rich soil, ready to grow. Wangari wanted to continue her education, but to do so, she would have to leave her village and move to the capital city of Nairobi. Wangari had never been farther than her valley's ridge. She was scared. "Go," her mother said. She picked up a handful of earth and placed it gently into her daughter's hand. "Where you go, we go." Wangari was sad to leave, but she knew that what her mother said was true. Wherever Wangari went, so went her family, her village, and her Kikuyu ways. She kissed her family and said goodbye to the Mugumo tree, and remembering her promise to always protect it. And that's her little goodbye party. Wangari's new life in the city amazed her. Skyscrapers towered above her head, not trees. People rushed through the streets like river water over stones. At school, she lived with other girls like her, all trying to weave their village customs with new city ones. At night, when the girls swept, Wangari dreamed of home and the sweet figs of the Mugumo tree. Her dreams reminded her to honor her Kikuyu tradition of respecting all living things. There they are in the big city. Wangari was an excellent student, and science became her favorite subject. She especially loved studying living things. Air, she learned, was made from two molecules of oxygen bonded together. Bodies were made up of cells. Leaves changed color because of photosynthesis. As graduation neared, Wangari told her friends she wanted to become a biologist. "Not many Native women become scientists," they told her. "I will," she said. Wangari would have to travel halfway around the world to the United States to study biology. She had never left Kenya and had little money. But with her teacher's help, she won a scholarship to a college in Kansas. America was very different from Kenya. In college, many of Wangari's science professors were women. From them, she learned that a woman could do anything she wanted to, even if it hadn't been done before. While Wangari discovered how molecules move under a microscope lens and how cells divide in petri dishes, she also found her strength as a woman scientist. And there she is in America with all the other scientists and all those special bottles that scientists use to do their science. After she graduated from college, Wangari traveled to Pennsylvania to continue her studies. Letters from home told Wangari about changes in Kenya. Get that picture in there. The people had elected a Kikuyu president, Jomo Kenyatta. Proud of her country and proud to be Kikuyu, Wangari decided to return home to Kenya to help her people. America had changed Wangari. She had discovered a spirit of possibility and freedom that she wanted to share with her Kenyan women. She accepted a teaching job at the University of Nairobi. Not many women were professors then, and even fewer taught science. Wangari led the way for other women and girls. She worked for equal rights so that female scientists could be treated with the same respect as male scientists. Wangari watched sadly as her government sold more and more land to big foreign companies that cut down forests for timber and to clear land for coffee plantations. Native trees such as cedar and acacia vanished. Without trees, the birds had no place to rest. Monkeys lost their swings. Tired mothers walked miles for firewood. When Wangari visited her village, she saw the Kikuyu custom of not chopping down the Mugumo trees had been lost. No longer held in place by tree roots, the soil streamed into the rivers. The water that had been used to grow maize and bananas and sweet potatoes turned to mud and dried up. Many families went hungry. Wangari could not bear to think of the land being destroyed. Now married and the mother of 3 children, she worried about what would happen to all the mothers and children who depended on the land. We must do something, Wangari said. So the women walking far, far away to get firewood for their fires where they cook their food. Wangari had an idea as small as a seed, but as tall as a tree that reaches for the sky. Harabe, let's work together, she said to her countrywomen, mothers like her. Wangari dug deep into the soil, a seedling by her side. We must plant trees. Many women listened. Many planted seedlings. Some men laughed and sneered. Planting trees was women's work, they said. Others complained that Wangari was too outspoken, with too many opinions and too much education for a woman. Wangari refused to listen to those who criticized her. Instead, she told them, those trees that you are cutting down today were not planted by you, but by those who came before. You must plant trees that will benefit the community to come, like a seedling with sun and good soil and abundant rain. And then the roots of our future will bury themselves in the ground and a canopy of hope will reach the sky. Wangari traveled to villages, towns, and cities with saplings and seeds, shovels and hoes. At each place she went, women planted rows of trees that looked like green belts across the land. Because of this, they started calling themselves the greenbelt movement. We might not change the big world, but we can change the landscape of the forest, she said. One tree turned to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1 million, all the way up to 30 million planted trees. Kenya grew green again. Birds nested in the new trees. Monkeys swung on the branches. Rivers filled with clean water. And wild figs grew heavy. in the Mugumo ranches. And mothers fed their children maize, bananas, and sweet potatoes until they could eat no more. That looks like a feast. Yum. That's making me hungry. As the green belts moved farther across Kenya, powerful voices rose up against Wangari's movement. Foreign business people, greedy for more land for their coffee plantations and trees for timber, asked, "Who is this woman who can change so many lives with a sapling? Why should we give up our land and profits for trees?" They made a plan to stop Wangari. One day, while she was out planting a tree, some wealthy businessmen paid corrupt police officers to arrest Wangari. In her jail cell, Wangari prayed, and like a sturdy tree against a mighty wind, her faith kept her strong. Instead of giving up, she made friends with other women prisoners. They told her their stories. She taught them about her seeds and saplings, and together they helped one another. Wangari knew many people in Kenya and other countries. They banded together to fight for her release. Before she was freed, Wangari promised to help fight for the rights of the other women prisoners too. Wangari realized that the people who had put her in jail didn't like the changes in the land or in the women. The people in charge of big companies wanted to keep the land for themselves, and the government was frightened of too many advances made by women. If she wanted to help save her country and country women, Wangari would have to go out into the world, spread her message. She would have to leave her home once more. I love that picture with the sun coming through the trees. Wangari began to travel, telling her stories to teachers, presidents, farmers, ambassadors, and school children, just like you guys, all over the world. She dug in the dirt, she planted seedlings, and she spoke about women's rights. With everyone she met, she shared the seeds of change. In time, Kenya changed. More people listened to Wangari's message, calling her the Mama Miti, which means the mother of trees. Mama Miti. They wanted her to lead them into Kenya's new democracy. Wangari was elected to Kenya's parliament and she became the Minister of the Environment. Still, she did not stop planting trees. In 2004, Wangari won the most prestigious peace prize in the world, the Nobel Peace Prize. It had never before been awarded to an African woman or an environmentalist. Standing in front of an audience of people from around the world, far from her village, Wangari remembered her girlhood lesson of the Mugumo. She understood that persistence and patience and commitment to an idea as small as a seed, but as tall as a tree that reaches for the sky, must be planted in every child's heart. Young people, you are our hope and our future, she said. And then, as she had done so many times before, Wangari planted a tree. And that's the story. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful rest of your summer. Much love to everybody. Bye.